Let's Talk Ministry Part 2 as I talk about and celebrate 3 years of this book, Church Hurt But It Helped. I'm celebrating online, YouTube and all that. But really quick tip, I shared with you already part 1 of the beginning of Church Hurt. Now I want to share with you part 2, becoming the church. I realized church hurt happened from the parking lot to the pulpit, and it does go on, and church hurt is real. But understanding that church hurt, but it did help you though. It made you better, made you stronger. And so I learned the process, and I go on a journey with you by letting you know in this book, becoming the church. How do you become the church? Number 1, you got to become a member. You got to become a member first. If you've never been in a church, how do you become a member? You got to date the church. Yeah, don't just be joining no church out here in these streets and you ain't did no research. You ain't did no GoogleUniversity.com. You haven't found out the background of the pastor and the leader and the pastor's wife. Find out about them before you join and become a member. Go there for a minute and date them for a minute. I found out after my first church of the pastor cheating and the characteristics, it was just off. Nothing against him. God bless him. He doing better. He done been, repented, whatever. That's between him and the Lord. But I knew that in that moment that the next church I get, I'm going to make sure I date this church, and we were there and they are still a part of us, 18 years, my spiritual leaders, because of me dating the church and finding out before I just say yes and become married to this church. I want to get to know y'all first. We're going to date first. I ain't going to just be out here in these streets hopping from everywhere. No, I'm going to just date you first, find out about you. And as long as the characteristics of the leaders is of God, because there's no perfect people, there's no perfect man, they're only a perfect God. So understanding that, you got to become a member. Then after become a member, you become ministry. How do you become ministry? You give your time, you give your talent and your treasure to the ministry. Go find the YouTube page, go listen to more of that. But you give your time, your treasure, and you find out that you get in groups, become a part of the praise team, become the choir, whatever you become a part of. Now you're giving your time and you're learning to become ministry. After you learn to become ministry, number 3, you become the message. What does that mean? You become the salt of the earth. This is when the trials, the tribulations, this is when the church hurt really begin, and see if you can still stand. You will not give up. Even though you may bend, you will not break. It's understanding that there's going to be dirt thrown on your name. Things are going to happen. You're going to do trials, tribulation, adversity. All of that's going to go down when you do these things and become a church, because it's a part of the process, and it's learning that at the end of the day, this is going to make me better. It made me better for my business. It made me better for jobs that I was on, to be more patient, more loving, more kind. It made me understand people more by being in the church, because I knew I wasn't going to act no fool in the church because I love the Lord too much. But it also let me understand, man, at the end of the day, church hurt, but it helped me. So I had to become ministry by the word, delivered by the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. My testimony was able to help others through my ministry. Can't wait to part 3.